D-Bags. Hope you guys are doing well. We're back here again with another episode of the Detox Podcast. If you're new here, you enjoy music, podcasts, comedy, or hooping videos, do consider subscribing. We've got a whole bunch of that stuff going on around here. When you do subscribe, leave a like or hang out with us in the live chat like you're going to do today. It helps us share conversations and laughs like these with more people. So do consider doing that. Now, before I can introduce you guys to my guests this week, I got to talk to you guys a little bit about vacations. It's that time of the year. If you live in the Midwest, we just got smoked by a winter storm. So if you like winter sports, you like winter activities, you got another week or so of that before maybe we'll get hit with another storm. I don't know. But Alpine House 2, today's video sponsor, is the perfect place to enjoy some of that madness. It's a classic Swiss Chalet duplex A-frame with a log cabin interior located directly across the street from the Ski Brule Ski Resort in Iron River, Michigan. Surrounded by forests, lakes, rivers, more specifically Iron River, makes it the destination for fishing, hunting, hiking, snowmobiling, skiing while we've got the snow for it, and stuff like that. They've been pretty consistently booked up over on Airbnb and Vrbo, but if you reach out to them over on their Instagram, at Alpine House 2, and tell them that Darren, Rita, or Detox sent you, they will set you guys up with the vacation. So that's at ALPINEHAUS number 2 on Instagram to stay up to date with renovations, bookings, and more. Again, tell them Darren, Rita, Detox sent you. Their stuff is also linked down below. Now, shout out to Alpine House 2 for sponsoring their episode, I should say. I mentioned this is the 350th episode of the show. We've been doing it for a while. Run into plenty of issues, technically, right, behind the scenes stuff throughout the years of doing this show. Had I had our other video sponsor in my back pocket sooner, things would have been a lot easier earlier on, and that's Impulse Cameras over in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. They're located in Oak Creek, Wisconsin's Drexel Square. They have everything you could possibly need for your creative projects, whether it's cameras, lights, microphones, gimbals, or even just a space to record your own content. They've got it. They don't just have great selection of gear, though. They also have extremely hardworking and talented staff that'll work with you to help you get gear that's actually suited for your needs at prices that make sense at your budget. And if you're still not convinced, they also have super legit rental programs that help you get your hands on some amazing gear before you decide to buy, and they offer monthly memberships so that you can get exclusive discounts as well as access to their Discord server and more. So check out at impulse.mke on Instagram or impulsecameras.com to see everything they've got going on. They're also linked down below as well, and shout out to them for sponsoring another episode. Now, with all the church announcements out of the way, we've paid our dues, we've paid the bills. We got to give the wettest of Detox welcome. Detox return to the show for his third time. He's completing the three-peat here. We got to welcome back Syed. Comedian Syed is here in the building.
What's up?
He's back. You're completed. You know, not a lot of people, back when I first started, more people were on repeatedly because it was like the same 6 people I knew from my high school that I liked. But since then, I mean, it's really, we don't do that a lot. You're one of the goats here on the show now, entering into your third episode.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're a recurring guest at this point. We're gonna have to, like, when we do our trading card packs, you're gonna get one. You'll have stats on there and shit.
Yeah.
That would be cool. What do you think your rarity of a Syed poll would be? Like, would we want to do like what version of your card would you say we put on there, or like a quote that you'd like?
A quote?
Yeah. I liked your Downey take before when we were talking about the Kang
stuff. What was my Downey take?
We were talking about the Kang Dynasty shit.
Oh, yeah.
And you were saying...
if they replace Jonathan Majors with RDJ.
Yeah,
yes, I think.
It should be RDJ in blackface. That would be amazing. That's still one of my favorite. That clip has yet to go out, but that will be hilarious when we like clip that up. But welcome back, man. It's good to see you. It's good to have you back.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm excited to have you in the studio. I know I was shooting you some stuff over Instagram DMs of like what we might get into today, and some of which I know you were not so familiar with, some of which you were. One of the first things I wanted to get your opinion on was like fame in general. Mm-hmm. You're a comedian. You're trying to make it big maybe one day, right? I imagine that's probably the goal. If, let's say tomorrow, episode of this goes viral, it's us two talking bullshit. Your shows are packed. All of a sudden, you're getting booked everywhere.
Yep.
Let's say you go from whatever you're making right now to you make $1 million next year. How do you think your relationship would be with like paparazzi or fandom? Like people like coming up to you in public and wanting pictures, or like asking for your opinion on everything because they're like, oh, we look up to you, we care about where your stance is. Like, how would you feel about that in general?
When I do a show that like goes well, I get like weirdly anxious knowing that people are gonna come up to me and compliment me and like expect me to talk to them. A lot of that comes from having a stutter, and when something goes really well or really bad, my stutter gets worse because like my adrenaline is spiked. So if I just crushed on stage, I'm all nerves.
Yeah.
Afterward, I'm just like buzzing. I can barely say 2 words, and that's when people are gonna want to like talk to me, I'm sure there are people who liked me on stage and then talked to me and thought, oh, that guy's a jerk. He barely even wanted to talk to me. He like blew me off. I even have like I've even added it to my set, like a joke about people misconstruing my stuttering as rudeness, and not even like me saying less to prevent myself from stuttering.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll think it's just because I'm one of those guys who doesn't like talking to fans or like talking to people.
Really?
So I think most people who haven't become famous, they have this take of like, oh, these rich and famous people whining about all the love they have. I would love if people looked at me like that, but like,
Sure.
I think you get used to just about anything, dude. I think if you were famous and people recognize you on the street, it would be cool for a while, and then after a while, I just want to go to the grocery store. Like, why does this guy think that he's entitled to a conversation with me because he enjoyed my show? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I try to be I always try to be as like polite as I possibly can be.
Yeah.
Because like it does mean something to me that you enjoyed what I did to the point that you want to come up to me and tell me that I did a good job and ask me questions and this and that. But I like the selfish part of me doesn't want to ruin the good night I just had by having like a bad stuttering outbreak. And like with me, if it's bad, it can be like it looks like I'm having a seizure in my face. It's like I don't want to go through this after I just had a good time. So I tend to like go straight to the green room and like try to dip out as soon as possible.
Kind of hide away from it, so you don't have to like face that sort of thing.
Yes.
I think, I mean, I will say that with that perspective, especially your experience, that makes a lot of sense. I think, where I do agree with you on like the empathy side for artists or musicians or people that like get super famous, right? Celebrities that we look up to. I do understand on a human level the parts that suck about their humanity being stripped away in some elements, but I do also push back in that like I can't get behind the whole I can't go to the grocery store thing. You know what I mean? I just can't get behind that. I'm like, you can go to the grocery store. Like Lady Gaga goes to the grocery store.
Yeah.
She wants to go to the grocery store, and she has like a really great quote on this where she's like, if you want to like have some normality in your life, right, don't spend all your fucking money on dumb shit and spend some of that money on, she has like great security. Like you don't see like,
for sure,
Lady Gaga knows where the paparazzi's gonna be. She's got a fucking song about it. You know, she knows how to handle that.
Yeah.
She is not being entangled with paparazzi like that all the time. You don't see, they're not pulling up on her randomly because she's at, you know, Nobu. If you don't want to deal with the pressures of being a celebrity, then don't go to fucking stand outside Nobu in LA, like in line, or be walking like the Walk of Fame where you know the paparazzi just sit because they're lazy now.
Yeah.
Or people call the paparazzi on themselves and they bitch that they're like in their face and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't get that part of it where it's like, dude, like this is part of it, right? Like if you blew up tomorrow, like, and then you went, you know, I think Aziz had like a thing in his like comeback special where he was talking about Frank Ocean. Yeah. And he had like this whole joke where he was asking Frank Ocean about like, dude, like how do you do it, man? Like you drop an album and then you're gone for like 5 years. We don't hear from you. We don't see you. We don't nothing. And he's like, and then you come back and you have this thing. And he's like, well, you easy, man. You just got to be okay with making less money. And it's like, dude, like that's like if you're a famous person, if you want to make more money, and I think people do, they just get stuck in that cycle of like, well, this is how much I made this month, this year. How can I make more this year, this year, this year? You commodify yourself, then I'm sorry, at that point you are a commodity. Yeah. Like you can't be mad that people care about you and want to hear your opinion on things when like those are the people that have put you basically in this position.
Yeah. And that's why when I said that like because I have this like speech disorder, it makes me anxious when people come up to me after a show. Yeah. That's just a reality that I'm saying out loud. At the same time, I'm not gonna like go to the booker like, hey, make sure no one talks to me. Yeah. I understand that this is going to happen. It's part of it. Yeah. I can both be like anxious about it, but also accept it at the same time. And I'm sure when it comes to to celebrities that a lot of the outrage is performative, because even that is like engagement, and engagement is everything.
Yeah.
It's part of it, and it's also part of it that some of them get genuinely um, harassed and stuff like that. It's rarely is it just the one thing.
Mm-hmm.
People usually take what they decide they care about and make it that that's just the one thing that's going on.
I could see that. Has there been an example? Have you ever seen a celebrity in recent that you're like you thought maybe they were overreacting, or maybe a situation that you think people were underreacting to the severity of? Because I think it's interesting. I remember when Kanye was getting big into like his dramas with the paparazzi and all his shit all the time, where he's like breaking people's cell phones and he's fucking the famous video of like, "Good morning, Kanye," and he's like, "Fuck you, shut the fuck up." Like, he has some great moments with that, but like there is also this element of like, he was married into this family that was like notorious for like popularizing calling the paparazzi on yourself.
Yeah.
I don't like. I'm trying to think of like some people off the top of my head, because I know Chappell Roan has been somebody in the recent, like the last couple of years, who like is always complaining about her celebrity, and it's like sometimes I hear her takes and I go, dude, like I just don't care.
It's hard to care. I'm sure it can be upset. It's hard to care when you hear about it all the time, when you're just driving to your job to make like a fraction of the money that they just shit out, and it's just like
she could fart on a microphone right now, release it as a single, and it will make more money than I'll make this year.
Yeah.
Working every fucking day. You know what I mean? It's like I just don't care that like people ask you questions about like your political stance on things. Like I don't care that that's hard for you. And like I that's one thing that I am happy about with like the celebrity culture. It's like I do like that we're moving to a place where at least it seems, and this is obviously my bubble that I'm going to be fed by the algorithm. It does seem like there is a little bit more care on that. Like people do seem to, not that they like won't support somebody that doesn't speak out about anything. Like there still are those people that like ride like the middle ground. They never speak on anything one way or the other. But I do see like a more of an appreciation for people that like actually stand up for shit recently, at least in the last like couple of years on my algorithms, where it's like you're following a musician because you like their music.
Sure.
I'm not really looking up to that person for their political take.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that more and more musicians and more comedians and more artists in general are like making it known where they do stand. Because for me then as a consumer, it's like I'm almost like it's usually a plus. Like if I fuck with Syed and then you come out with some like super dope woke take that I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, I like this guy even more because I like this guy as a human being, not just the art. You know what I mean? I can separate the art from the artist to an extent, but it feels even better when you know you're supporting the art of an artist that is also a good person.
Yeah. What I was gonna say, like circling back before I get to the last thing that you just said, Kanye recently and Britney Spears, like they're different because they're clearly spiraling, and also that's when the paparazzi wants them the most, because that's the most engagement, is when someone is clearly having a breakdown.
Yeah.
And I think I'm saying this from the outside looking in. I can only observe as normie for the most part. Sure. But like I think they feed into the attention until it becomes more than what they wanted it to be, and they fed this monster so much that they can't just tell it to leave now. Like what has been like reported a lot about Michael Jackson, but from people who were like deep in his inner circle, is that he originally would feed the paparazzi these crazy stories about him sleeping in the hyperbolic chamber and keeping pet chimpanzees and stuff like that. The perception that he was a weirdo was a part of his aura and mystique, until it got to the point where like, oh no, not this big of a freak. I don't want people to call me that. But by that he had fed it so much that he couldn't just shut it down at that point.
That's a good point, actually. I didn't think about that. There is an element of that, and especially when you like, we were talking a little bit about The Boys off air right before we started. Like you kind of, there is so much of like PR playing into things, and like of course you could leak any story about yourself. I feel like artists do that all the time. At least like the top people, or even just public figures in general, will like leak information about themselves to misdirect from maybe what they're actually trying to do or what they're actually like interested in. Or in his case, like if it's just fucking, he's like the ultimate aura farmer. I mean, Michael Jackson, have you seen that his Super Bowl halftime performance?
That was what defined the Super Bowl performance as something that you're gonna try to put on the show of the year.
Yeah, literally. I mean, literally,
Like,
right? That was like the first one.
And people argue it was like, oh, certain performances after were better, like Beyonce or Bad Bunny this year, and they were awesome. But like the concept that it should be an epic show started with the MJ performance.
Just standing
and
there.
It's easy to one up. I'm not even saying they did one up it, but for people who think they did, it's easy to one up something once someone has set the blueprint for it.
Yeah. You can't.
You can look at what they already did. It's like, okay, if I add more this, more that, then I can make it even more.
Yeah. But it didn't exist prior to.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It is one of my favorite like all-time like memes when I see it like come across like my feed if I'm scrolling. It's just like, this motherfucker was horrifying. It's just him standing there, and they'll always like put some different song over it, but it's just like, dude, he literally stood there for so long before he even moved, and then he just like flinched, and people were like dying in their seats. I mean, dude,
they had ambulances on standby at his show. It was expected that several people would pass out.
Yeah, that's crazy. Travis Scott had to basically force those kids to kill each other. I mean, MJ just doing his show killed people.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes. I could talk about MJ all day. He's been like, I have been weirdly obsessed with him since I was like 2.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, shit.
Yeah.
What do I need? What's something that you think normies don't know about MJ? Like the casual MJ fan. I'm a casual Michael Jackson enjoyer. I respect the greatness. I mean, there's some sketchy shit that
for sure
may or may not be true.
Yeah, I think that I've seen enough like candidate footage of him, and also people say this, that he did have a feminine voice and like way about him, but he definitely played it up. If you watch more canon stuff of him, he's a softer spoken dude. All the Jacksons are. Like if you listen to like Jermaine and the other Jackson guys, they all have that like very soft spoken cadence. He had that, but he also comes off as more of just a regular ass dude when you're watching him in those candid moments.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I heard too. This is crazy. This is super conspiratorial ground that I'm going to get into right here. So I know this is probably not true, but I did see from like a small group of like super big Michael Jackson stans when all the like Epstein stuff was getting leaked, that they were like, dude, MJ. And I don't know if this is true. I couldn't verify it.
I know what you're talking about.
I was trying to find verification, and I couldn't find anything to prove if this was true or not. They were like, apparently he was trying to save kids from going to the island, or he would try to get kids off the island, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if that's true. It's probably not, but I want it to be true because that would be so sick.
Yeah, I had that exact same reaction. It's a pretty gigantic leap without any more.
But like that's
receipts.
Like a fun.
He did spend a lot of his career talking about how there are dark forces who are trying to bring him down without quite pinpointing what they were. So a lot of people put their own inferences in there.
Do you feel like there's any sketchiness around the way that he died?
I know his daughter certainly does. I think it's sketchy enough that the doctor was behaving that unethically about someone who clearly had was having a substance abuse issue. And if he wasn't Michael Jackson, anyone else, like, no, I'm not giving you anesthesia to go to bed every night. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of enablers in his life, it seemed like, and it was next to impossible that he was ever going to be normal growing up the way he did, and then also being surrounded with people who just say yes, yes, yes to his every impulse.
Yeah, that's true. I don't understand. That's something like, I think in general, like child stars of any level, and this is Michael Jackson. I mean, they were the biggest thing on the face of the earth for a bit. I mean, for the whole time he was in the limelight. But even to be that young and be that big, like there's child stars now and in the last 20 years that like were only a fraction as big as him, and they end up fucked up, you know. So I can't imagine that. I just don't know what I would be. I can't say that I would be able to handle that.
Get fucked up either way. Like a lot, you have all this like love and millions of fans. So if it doesn't work out and you're nobody the next day, that can fuck you up too.
Yeah.
If you were like if you had like a bunch of fangirls when you were like a tween, and then you grew up to just be an average guy and you don't have that attention, that the whiplash I'm sure is a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. There's a lot of. I feel like everybody went to high school with a girl that probably experienced that themselves, where it's like the hottest girl in your high school, and then you know, fast forward 10 years and she's like selling Scentsy products and
comparing Aaron Carter to that girl, to the hottest girl when you were in school who never really did anything after. I think it's
a leap, okay, but
no. I'm saying no. I was actually saying that actually tracks.
Oh, you think it tracks?
I can see that.
Yeah. I guess yeah. Aaron Carter did turn out insane, dude. He was like then doing porn for a bit.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was like with Adam 22 and those guys from No Jumper, and yeah, and it's crazy. Some of these internet stars, man, the fall is insane. We were talking last week with TJ Trashman about Super Hot Fire. I don't know if you remember Super Hot Fire at all. He's like the psych, that's the wrong number video with the rap battles. I don't know if you ever
Rings
saw
a
those.
bell,
But
either way.
he like blew up off these comedy skits. Then he was like, he did the whole classic arc of like, I'm too good for this. I want to do like mainstream movies and I want to be like a serious actor, and it didn't really work out for him. And then he was like in obscurity for a long time, and he recently just came back. He was like doing some fighting, like some influencer fighting with like Aiden Ross and those people, and he just got rocked this weekend and lost his fight. So
there's a lot of pipeline of them either getting into fighting or pretty much not even child stars, but any celebrity who falls off red pill culture.
Yeah. It's like a weird, there's like a fork in the road where I think you start falling off and you go, do I do porn? Do I get into red pill or / I would say there's almost another fork of that where then they can kind of go like super Christian too. And then there's like the other one that's just like, let me just do boxing.
Yeah.
Because that'll repair me.
I think that all of it is kind of like engulfed in the same thing, because like part of the red pill stuff now is to go super Jesus-y too, and I think fighting is an extension of that because it's like this traditional masculine thing. Jake Paul is one of the best examples of this, I think, because he was like originally like a Disney star, right?
Yeah.
So now he is into fighting and politics and very visible with Trump.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He did it. He like
100%
post child star maxed, like that's
yeah.
what you do.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah, he did post child star max. I like that. That's the thing too. I also think it is one of those things, like I think fitness, like just getting jacked in general, for some reason people will just like they'll just like look past so many things, and it's funny when it fails, because recently I don't know if you saw David Dobrik tried to make a comeback like a year and some change ago, and I don't know if you know the whole drama with him, but he like almost killed one of his friends. He had all this like other essay stuff that he kind of like didn't do, but was like creating an environment where stuff like that could happen, and in his like vlogs and with the people around him, and so he was like kind of canceled for a while. Okay. Right, then he tried to come back, and his like comeback was like, hey, I'm jacked now. Like he just like got ripped, and then just like people, and he thought like, oh, everyone's just gonna respect me. And I think people did that because of like I think the Logan Paul arc, so Jake's brother Logan.
Yeah.
I think the way he got canceled and then he came back into the fighting, I think people just go, like, if you're a dude and you work out a bunch or you've boxed before or you're into fitness, I think all of us can just like, you can see somebody do that shit and be like, oh yeah, I respect.
He's bettered himself.
Yeah, I respect the work that he's done on his body.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make him a good person. You listen to the guy talk for 5 minutes, he's not any better of a human being. He just locked
Logan
in
Paul
the gym.
does come off as the better Paul brother, and that's saying a lot.
That isn't it?
Because he's incredibly obnoxious, but like
they flip flop for me, honestly.
Every
once in a while, I hate them because they don't. Neither one of them mean anything that they say. Like every once in a while, Jake will be saying something about how he wants to get UFC fighters paid and how regular Americans should have health care and blah 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 blah.
Jake says this.
Yeah, he just randomly said that like it was a while back, but that was his whole.
Well, they say reasonable sounding stuff.
Every once in a while.
Lot, but like I mean, conservative politicians say reasonable sounding stuff a lot. They're very good at pinpointing what's wrong while not helping or adding to that.
Yeah. And they're just, I don't know, they're kind of clowns in that way. But I think it is this weird thing is like dudes where, or the general populace in general, anyways, where it's like we will we will relax on people on our judgments towards them if we see them do something that seems difficult, that has nothing to do with the terrible or evil things that they did, right? Where it's like, Logan Paul did a bunch of terrible shit, and then he went and got jacked and started boxing, and we went, yeah, I kind of respect that he's able to do that. That's hard to do. And we go, I can't do that. And so we're like, I kind of respect that thing about him. And then you kind of slowly forget, and the rest gets a little fuzzy about like, oh, this guy's kind of a piece of shit.
But it's also like, it's difficult to just continue caring unless the thing that they were canceled for is like deeply meaningful to you.
Yeah,
because the
true.
Logan Paul thing, it's crazy that he did that he used what he found to try to boost his numbers. Like, I get the backlash, but then like years later, not just getting fit, but like he unfortunately, regrettably, he happens to be a pretty good pro wrestler.
He is pretty good.
Because you know I'm a big wrestling guy, I just it bothers me how good he is because I can't objectively say that he sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's really good. He's legit.
It's like made for him. He is athletic, and he became famous through going viral, and his personality in wrestling is the combination of those two things.
Yeah.
So it's not that like it's not even necessarily forgiveness. It's like if his output is now superseding the level of anger I can maintain about him treating someone's death ridiculously years ago, then I'm not even choosing to forgive him or not forgive him. I'm just like living my life, and he happens to be visible in the things that I like.
Yeah. No, that's a great way. That's a great point, actually, because I think about that a lot with some of the like little things that people get upset about on the internet. And it's like for a few days, like we're super big canceling this person, and I wonder how many people we can all say like that dude who would do that and film that is a psychopath, like a narcissist, whatever. But then again, how long do I want to just keep being angry about that and stewing in it?
I think people don't consciously choose to forgive or not forgive a celebrity. Like, I never decided, all right, Chris Brown's a cool guy with me now. I never had that conversation with myself or anyone else.
I hope not, yeah.
But I vibe to Look at Me Now when it came out, especially if I'm at the club in my 20s and the song comes on and I'm having a good time and a few drinks in me. That's not a choice I made. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, it's a
it's a good song.
yeah, that is tough, dude. Yeah, he's one though. You know, he continues to beat women. So we gotta.
Wait, does he? I
think so. Yeah,
I only know about Rihanna.
No, he had one like last year, I think too. He like still keeps doing it. I'm like, dude, like how many? You know what I mean? Like, and he has an amazing voice. He's an amazing dancer. You're like, dude, how many chances we gotta give you? Like, just stop.
Yeah.
Like, someone put him in a straitjacket when he's around. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, no, I hear you, though. I think it's like, with celebrities, I can only be mad for so long, and then I just really don't care anymore. Like, with the Paul brothers, I really don't care. So it's like, then if they pop up and it's like, they do something annoying, then I'm like, oh, that's annoying. But if they pop up and I see something that's, like, interesting, you know, like I see him join WWE, and then I see that he's actually fucking good, I'm like... Well, that's interesting. Like, I'm not. I don't really.
We're like, what am I supposed to do about this? I'm not like glazing him, speaking glowingly about him. I'm not even spending money on him necessarily.
Yeah.
Like I the way I consume wrestling is very, very little of my money goes into it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just it's like, what do you do besides live your life in the world that you exist in?
I agree. It's interesting. I wonder, like. Do you think, kind of tying it back to the Michael Jackson stuff, because he's got the movie coming out, right? Yeah. They got this movie coming out, this biopic. Do you think, like, how do you think if Michael was alive today?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would still probably be the biggest art, like, because they have all these songs of his already pre-recorded. They released still, right? Didn't they just release a song for him earlier this year?
There was an album that came out pretty much the year he died, or like, and he'd been working on that. but you have to think that a lot of those sales were because he died,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, it's very hard to say
Like, because
because
how would people react to him now? Because now we
we
are
would
more
still
conscious of stuff.
absolutely be talking about everything that he does.
Yeah.
He was very much Jim Carrey's character in the Truman Show.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he does, good or bad, that's the conversation of the day. Whether it would be good or bad for him, whether the way we talk about him would in any way make his quality of life better or just make him even more
Yeah.
depressed and mentally ill.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. It just depends on a lot of things.
Do you think? Are you excited for the movie?
I am, yeah. This is almost like a slight plug, but Chastity Washington, one of the best comedians in our scene, or just period that I've ever seen. Um, she is hosting a Michael Jackson viewing party at South Shore Cinema, I think, on the 24th.
Oh, okay.
And it is a benefit for something. I'm not sure what. I forgot what it was, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's sick then.
Yeah.
Shout out Chastity Washington then. That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, but I think I'm excited. Like a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's a cop out. They're not gonna touch those allegations or anything like that." That doesn't make the movie a lie either, because it's, from what I understand, it deals with his rise to fame, the Thriller era, and seems to end on the bad era, which, based on all the stills and all that, and doesn't go into the next stuff. So it just,
I mean, and prior to that, though,
I
those
am
allegations didn't
fine-
exist, right?
yeah, I'm fine with a movie that celebrates his achievements, and I mean, there is drama in the movie. They deal with his father wanting him to stay in the Jackson 5 and him wanting to do his own thing and this and that. I'm fine with a movie that celebrates his achievements because in the past decade or so, it's mostly been the other thing, and like both things are true because like he is. I think he's credited as the most successful entertainer of all time in like the a Guinness book. Like the three biggest musical acts in modern music are the Beatles, Elvis Presley, and MJ.
Yeah.
And it means something to a lot of people that he was a black man. It means something to me as just like a brown guy to see like a man of color achieve to that stature. And like I think it is fine to celebrate him as a pop culture figure.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think the plan is it's going to be a two-parter. I think that the plan is that the next one will deal with the downfall, the allegations, the case, and then his death.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a celebratory movie, and the sequel will be the tragic one.
Oh wow, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be intense. I do think too, like, I think there's a difference in, like, I think if they were to be like, oh, we're telling the entire story of Michael Jackson here,
Yeah.
and then like you just skipped it completely, right? Like let's say
Sure.
they did the whole arc. Like if they end at the bad shit, then like whatever, right? Because then you're like, well, we decided to tell this story. Could we as outsiders critique that and be like, I know why you would stop there, so you don't have to touch this stuff.
Sure.
Be like, yeah, but like you said, it's not necessarily untrue then. It's, if we're just getting up to this point, and why not celebrate the good? Where I think people maybe would have a problem with it is if it did the other thing, if it glossed over, or
Sure.
if it does get into the rest.
People
And then
will absolutely say from the point that this movie seems it's going to end at, people will absolutely say, oh, they ended there, because we all know what happened next.
yeah,
Also, it is impossible to cover his life in a movie span. So many eras. There was a VH1 miniseries called Jackson's the American Dream, which dealt with all eras and ended on the beginning of the Thriller era.
yeah,
So it didn't even go into like when his skin turned gold. It ended on Thriller.
and it was how long was that? How long?
It was over 6 hours,
Jesus.
and they still skipped a lot.
Yeah, crazy, dude. I mean, he just has so much, and he's just
Yeah.
like, I mean, I was born in '98, and I mean, my entire life, that's all I've known is Michael Jackson
Yeah.
is like one of the biggest people in the world.
Yeah,
Right?
and
It's
like that,
and I
and like
wasn't even
that,
there during peak Michael Jackson. Like,
and like that special, because it's not a Michael Jackson movie, it's a Jackson's movie.
mhm.
I think Michael is born an hour into it, so that's still like 5 hours.
Wow.
How are you gonna do that in a movie run? You know what I mean? No.
Yeah. How are you gonna do that? You're gonna do like,
It's not possible.
yeah, like a double Avengers Endgame like length of a movie to be able to, and
Yeah,
you
except
probably
you're
still
gonna go
won't.
the opposite way, where like Infinity War was a sad one and Endgame was a good one.
Yeah.
They're gonna go the opposite way
Yeah.
here.
You know what's crazy though? I like Infinity War better, so maybe
I
that.
do too.
Yeah.
It was very the jarring way that it just ended on Thanos smiling
Amazing.
very well. I distinctly remember when the screen just faded to black when Thanos is like grinning and someone yelled, "What?"
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
That's what we're
amazing.
going out on.
Yeah, amazing. The pace of that one too. I'm getting sidetracked a little bit, but the pace of Infinity War is like one of the. I just feel like it's the most fun of any of those Avengers movie. Like especially like the first. Honestly, the whole movie of Infinity War, but like that movie is just like all gas, no brakes the entire time. And I understand why. Of course, Endgame has to slow down to be able to like, what the fuck just happened and process that to be able to get to like the last act that they wanted to do for that movie. But it's almost like unfair comparing the two because of
You
like
cannot.
because Infinity War is
Infinity War
allowed to do
took
whatever it
such-
wants.
It also took such a creative, artistic like pivot. I can't think of like a epic Hollywood blockbuster that ended on the bad guy winning like that since Empire.
Yeah, literally. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Marvel's Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, for sure.
It's yeah, one of my favorite movies ever. I've seen it. I think more than I've seen any other MCU movie is Infinity War, and it's
Yeah.
like stupid long. Like I'll just put it on sometimes and just like have it play. Like, I won't watch it fully, but I'm just like, dude, so good. Dialogue is quick. Everything is like the cutting, like the editing is amazing. Yeah, one of my favorites. But the MJ movie, I'm sure is going to be good too. I'm interested to see what the reception is going to be because I did see like somebody, was it Michael Jackson's daughter or something? Is that the one that's all?
Paris said that she gave her input and they didn't listen to her, so she like backed out of it.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm not in this. I'm not a part of their lives, but also nothing that happens in that movie all of it occurs prior to her birth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So what would her input really be? Worth? Not that saying she can't have any input, but like,
Yeah,
what would,
I mean, I'm sure it's her dad. She can watch the movie and be like, "No, I'm sure that's not how he acted when this happened," and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is the problem with a biopic, especially when the person it's about isn't there to give you pointers, is that a lot of it is going to be indoor, where door shut, things that happened when there was no one besides two people in a room, and the director as well. Oh, I think this is how they probably did it, and then
Yeah.
you get the account of the person who was there who isn't dead, and then their view is going to be biased.
Yeah.
And then if Michael Jackson was here, his opinion would be biased because he's going to want himself to look better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, it's so interesting. I do gotta say that I am a sucker for. I don't really love a lot of like biopic movies. Like I
Mhm.
don't love them. I do, however, love if it is something to do with like their actual rise. Like if we show the right. Like I don't love when they like start and they're already big.
They're already stars.
Yeah, because I don't relate to that as much as like a starving artist
Sure,
myself. I do,
sure.
like, even though it's so played out and it's so cheesy and everybody hates biopics, everybody talks mad shit on them.
It's like the origin story.
I just love
People-
seeing it. I'm like, yeah, I want to know, because it's like some of those same things. I'm sure as yourself as a comic, that's like you're grinding, you're trying to make your own way.
Sure.
For me as a musician and fucking doing podcasting and content and video stuff, like I see, like, it's just fun you can relate to like the behind the scenes stuff of what goes into making that person, and I'm failing at it. I'm not doing well at it, but it's still
if they already
cool.
are the biggest star in the world at the beginning, it takes a lot for that relatability to kick in.
Yeah, so it's still fun, even though I know it's played out. I know we've seen it with like the Prince one and the fucking, now they did the Springsteen one, whatever the fuck they do it with all these fucking movies now. But it's like it will get me every single time. Every single time a movie does that.
I think that they rely a lot on the discography.
Discography? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the soundtrack that they get to use, because like if you're a fan of the artist, like okay, I get to see Hollywood recreations of these classic performances, that the real ones happened at a time that the production value isn't what it was now. So
Yeah, that too is cool. Have you seen My Name is Dolomite? It's on, I think it was like a Netflix movie, but it was Eddie Murphy plays this. It's like this comedian. I forget what era. Maybe it's like the 70s ish. He plays this like black comic who like broke a lot of barriers. Like basically self-produced his own movie.
yeah,
Based off like I think some jokes. I forget how he came up with the jokes. There was some like sketchiness of whether or not he like maybe took some of that stuff material from somebody else or whatever. But he and these like 4 or 5 other comics, these people that he met in like his underground scene, they like self-produced this movie.
sure.
This like all with like an all black cast and stuff, and it was like the biggest thing. They showed it in all these theaters, and it made a shit ton of money. And like that movie for me, it's just like cool to see like them, like this dude who's literally nothing.
Yeah,
And it's just realistic. Like I don't know, you've seen it. You've probably shook the hands of comics that have ascended, or like you've caught people, you know, as they're right before they're about to be super big. I know I have. Like I've met musicians. I have friends of mine that are doing super well now, and I'm super happy for them. That's crazy, cool. But it's like when you see, for me as a creative, when I get to see that like peek behind the curtain, it's just super inspiring. Like I just like get giddy. So whether it's MJ or whoever the fuck it is, like I'm all for it. I want to see the come
being
up.
there makes you aware of how attainable it is.
Yeah, and you get to see when you get to see different people's things. Like there's gonna be parallels. It's in the Alchemist, like you know, one man's journey is every man's journey, and it's like there's parallels in everybody's ascension. If that's your dream, if that's your goal, is like ascension into the stardom. There's gonna be parallels. So it's like it's just interesting to see like, oh, like maybe I've had this one step, and you get to see them at that step, and then you get to see how they took the next 5, 6, 7 steps that you haven't taken yet, and it's just cool to be like, whoa. I'm almost Michael Jackson. I could be Michael Jackson.
It's very difficult for me to not do this when you did.
Good to see. I know. We talked earlier. We mentioned I was talking with paparazzi stuff. We were talking about a little bit of outrage culture we've gotten into a little bit today. One thing that people have been really pissed off about online, which I'd love to be interested to get your take on. We're probably like a week late to this now, but I don't know if you heard Timothy Chalamet. He was doing a interview, like a sit down, like an actors thing with him and Matthew McConaughey. They were talking about like the movies and how like movie theaters are kind of, people aren't going as much, and he hopes that people will still go because he doesn't want to, and I quote, be a part of an art form or be in an art form that's like dying and nobody cares about, like ballet and opera. And people were super upset about it, especially, so my algorithm went, people were super pissed for 3 days. Then everybody thought about it and they were like, you guys actually don't care about opera and ballet. Like
I want all those people to start going to ballet and opera.
I do too.
And support these people who they're mad about, that they're mad that Timothy Chalamet said that about.
Yeah, that's what
I want to see that. It's the same attitude that like I want to see all the fucking bros whining about trans women in sports. I want you to support women's sports. I want you to
go buy courtside tickets to WNBA game before you fucking talk to me about that. It's so silly. It's like all these people that were mad about that. It was such posturing, like such like, oh, like Timothy Chalamet, he's dating a Jenner now. He's fucking this, that, or whatever. It's like, dude, like this guy is in the arts. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like all he's saying is he hopes theaters don't start, like the movies don't turn into or devolve into something that like nobody cares about.
When you go to saying nobody cares is like it. You know what he's mean. You know what he means when he says it. It's all, but there are also enough people who do still care that they're gonna be like, oh fuck you, like I can't believe you said that about my thing.
Yeah.
Like, but for the general part, I think when people go to ballet or the opera, they're going to a classical throwback experience. It makes you feel like you're in another time, sort of.
Yeah, it's got like an elegance to it, like a timeless elegance.
Is a good way to say it. I also don't want the theater to become like that. I don't want people going to the movies. Like, isn't this cool? We're sitting in a room with strangers with popcorn watching a movie. This is how the old heads used to do it.
Because it is, and that's what he was saying is that exactly, and that's what he was kind of saying is that like, it could turn out like that, and I don't. Sure. And he's just like, I don't want to be in that.
Netflix wants it to be like that. They've even said that they're going to minimize the amount of time that a new movie is in theaters before they just put it on the streaming
That's so
platforms.
fucking stupid,
Yep.
dude. That's so stupid, dude. This is the thing too. I cannot stand like the way that they're doing. Like even everything is being. They're trying to like force us to watch shit at home, and I think it just is. I think it's great that we can watch movies at home. I think it's great that like in a
It's
lot
great
of
because
ways.
there are people who legitimately can't leave the house. They have a legit reason.
Exactly.
Even if they don't have a legit reason, if you don't want to leave your house, okay.
Cool, but we shouldn't give that thing up. Like there is
Sure.
such, especially I think like movies in general, dude. If you go to like a real dope theater, especially I feel like right when theaters got good is when they fucking died. Like right when they got good, comfortable seats and amazing like Dolby Atmos sound, then it was
Mhm.
like, you know, we were kind of encroaching on that
People
COVID
bringing you
times.
pizzas to your seat. Like,
Yeah.
it got optimal right when it was no longer the thing to do.
Exactly. It was like, dude, we figured out movie theaters. They're fucking awesome now. And then it's like,
Yeah.
actually, no one go to these ever again. What? It's like, dude, I go see, even if you go see like a big movie now,
Yeah.
there's like 8 people in there. And I love, and like, I mean, every once in a while there's like a big event movie, like the Minecraft thing or whatever. Like there's like these big moments that like people will go see it, but it's more of like, again, you have to make it like a spectacle, an event. It's less about the film and more of like the social media, like how can we stir shit up beforehand. Like movies are, it's fun to go to the movies. My mom used to take me on like Tuesdays to this random shitty theater in Antioch, Illinois. It had like, it was like literally like an old school theater, almost like the Oriental here,
Sure.
where it's like the shitty old seats, like the screen is like there's like fucking scratches in it, like whatever. And I'm not saying it needed to be shitty like that, but there was something so fun on like it's $5 Tuesday. Let's go. We're gonna go get a couple tickets to see whatever the fuck is playing. Grab a bucket of popcorn, soda, free
There is
refills.
something
Let's
very
go.
charming about those theaters that specifically play older movies that are not current
Mm.
releases. They have like I don't know. They have like a more chill, elegant vibe to them. Like if I'm going to a theater that's playing like Saving Private Ryan or something like that, it's kind of like a weirdly calming experience in itself.
Yeah. Saving
While
Private
watching
Ryan.
one of the funniest movies ever made.
Sure. Yeah, I wouldn't call it that. Yes. Yeah, dude. I just think the thing with the movies is like, it's sad that it's so expensive to go. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know, and that's where I think where he was right in what he's saying about, you know, he doesn't want it to turn into ballet and opera where it's like ballet and opera. It's not even that like nobody cares about. Like, I mean, I don't personally, I can't lie to you and say I care so much about ballet and opera because
Yeah.
I really don't. I couldn't tell you anybody in either field. I had like the Milverine on here a couple of years ago. You like yell at me about opera for fucking 45
That
minutes.
so tracks for him, dude.
it was amazing, by the way. It was, if you have not
If
seen
he wants
that,
to save opera, he needs to have his dog pose outside of opera houses.
yes, dude.
If you've seen his Instagram, you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like sites. It's just here's my dog standing next to this. Here's
Yeah.
my dog standing next to that.
Yeah, it's just the most wholesome.
No context, not why he's there, not why he put it. This is just what this is. This is a picture of my dog standing in front of this building.
Yeah, dude, that dog has been everywhere, man. But yeah, he loves opera, and like, you know, so I can't say I know any of those people or any of the big players or that I'm like super into those things. I respect them. I think they're cool, but also I am probably as a regular guy kind of priced out of some of opera
I
and
think
ballet.
that there are people who genuinely love opera and ballet, but I think for most people it's the thing to talk about this week. That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. And I just
And
think,
he's doing. I'm not a Timothy Chalamet fan. I'm not like an anti either. I just whatever. He's an actor. I know he's doing well enough now to like where any slip is going to be the thing that like, aha, we got you.
yeah, I think so. I just think, you know, the conversation itself is valid in that, like, dude, I don't want to see movies because it does bother me that like going to like a movie theater now is so expensive. In a lot of ways, especially, I mean, sometimes you can go to like these older theaters that are like on a more, for a more novel experience, whatever. But like we said, movie theaters just got good, and then they fucking became obsolete. Like now we don't do it. Netflix and all these streaming services are trying to push for shit to not be in the movies, and it's like, dude, if they made the shit more affordable, I do think people would be there. Like, it can't be when you want to see like a new Marvel movie, and Marvel's been on, you know, they've put out some duds in the last few years.
Sure.
Like, it shouldn't cost me for 2 people with a thing of popcorn and 2 drinks $50 fucking to go to the movies, which it does. And it's like, that's
You
absurd.
have to really like the thing to go out and spend that money.
And that's
for
why
it.
it's you and 4 other dudes in there. You know what I mean? Like,
there are like 1 or 2 movies at this point that I'm like, okay, I will physically go see them.
yeah, because otherwise I'm just gonna wait because it
Yeah.
doesn't make it. Not because I don't like going to the movies, because I love going to the movies, but I just can't justify that all the time.
Yep.
I would probably go at least once or twice a month if it was fucking the prices it used to be.
I have not gone to see Scream 7 yet, even though I have always been a fan of that series. Is just like, I had enough of it spoiled for me, where I was like, meh, that's not what I wanted. But I would still go watch it if it was reasonable. It's like, no, I'm not spending that much money to see this follow up that seems like it's the worst Scream movie made so
Really?
far.
Does it seem like that? I'm not a huge fan of the series. I haven't really followed it,
Yeah.
but I've heard it's kind of a ridiculous series in recent years. Like, isn't one of the characters like Courtney Cox? Isn't she still like alive?
Well, her and Neve Campbell, who is Sydney, the final girl, they're both still alive at this point. Like, the franchise is like on their backs, but like it just
What makes the franchise, not to cut you off, what makes the franchise so good? Right, it's a slasher. He wears the mask.
Yeah.
And he's stabbing everybody to death. Like, what is
It is
the draw? Like, what
it
makes
is
the first movie amazing?
both a horror movie, but also a comedic social commentary on what is happening at that time. But it's not comedy to the extent that, like, the way Scary Movie is.
Yeah.
It does it subtly by doing the tropes. Not only doing the tropes, but having the characters call out the tropes. Like, there's always a character. Like, the original one was Randy, and his character was, all right, these are the rules if you want to survive a scary movie. Don't do this, don't do that, don't split up, don't have sex, don't drink, don't ever say I'll be right back. And then you just watch the characters do all these things anyway.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And the first Scream movie, it felt like it was commentary on Columbine because it came out around that time. It was the killers ended up being 2 teenage boys who, one of them was just bored and crazy. The other one had like various issues with the final girl that she didn't realize until the end. But it felt like this was a commentary on high school violence and how people ignore the signs and then sensationalize it and then make stars out of the victims and even the killers at some point. But like, it wasn't written that way because like I think it was made before the shootings actually happened, but it came out after. But it still felt that way because
of the context.
it was an accurate portrayal of society at that time.
Yeah.
And then the newer ones go into influencer culture and people wanting to be seen and viewed by any means necessary, live streaming murders, this and that.
Yeah.
I've heard that the new one does a lot with AI, which is a cool thing for them to comment on, but it doesn't seem to make any real statement about it. It's just like, well, that's just what people are doing now, so that's
So we have to include
Yep.
this. Yeah, interesting. Okay, but you are a big fan of the series. You think like
it's very clever. It's it manages to be funny enough that you can laugh at the absurdity of the slasher genre and teen murder movies, but also at the same time it doesn't lose its sense of like stakes and like the severity of what's going on, because even though they're like making fun of these things, they also let you feel the tragedy when a character you like gets killed. They let you feel that. They let you feel the grief of that person's friends and family, which is kind of commentary in itself. I'm being entertained by all this murder, but for the characters in this fictional world, it's real. Yeah. But to me, it's just entertainment, which in the scope of the movie, it's fine because it's fictional. But people do that in real life. Tragedy, murder, genocide. It's something to talk about, something to watch your favorite YouTuber talk about while you're just chilling.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a really good point, actually. Where do you think where do you think personally, not counting the newest movie, so not counting Scream 7, right? That's the one that just came out. Not counting Scream 7, where do the Scream movies rank? Yeah.
Okay. From best to worst.
Give me let's go worst to best, or whatever's easier for you, I guess.
I'll do best to worst, but that's how I have it in my head already.
Let's hear it.
Best: Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 5.
Whoa.
Scream 3, 4, and 6. So almost in chronological order, but I did like Scream 5, the revival of the series, a lot to put it ahead of Scream 3, because Scream 3 was good, but it's also the weakest of the original trilogy. And I've also read that like they toned down a lot of the grittiness and the violence and even the spooks, because in the early 2000s, like it was kind of the thing to do for whatever reasons, just to
dull it down a little bit,
to dull that stuff down a bit. And I don't know if it was to make it more palatable and more of like something that people might bring their family to, but I don't know.
That's what, I mean, come on, man, know your audience. Like this isn't that. Like let's not try to be that for everybody else. Interesting, yeah. I've never been into the Scream movie. Like I've never seen them, so I just never know. But I've heard.
I think I know you well enough to know that you would probably enjoy them if you like put on Scream 1 and just kind of leaned into the fact that it's both ridiculous and serious at the same time.
Yeah, I'd love to check it out. I mean, I know too that it's funny, the new Scream movie's coming out, and then I saw that they actually were making another Scary movie too this year. Is coming out? Yeah, and I heard that's. I mean, I've heard mixed reactions from it already, but I feel like that's, from what I know of that series too. Again, I've never seen the full movies in their entirety, but just from what I know of them and the scenes I've seen, I do feel like that's kind of the point of those movies. So it sounds like it must be accomplishing.
The humor is dumb, but it always was.
That's what
it always was. It was never smart, dude.
Yeah.
But that's like, I am able to. I feel like I walk both in the world of a guy who thinks and a guy who just enjoys being a dumbass at the same time. So I have an appreciation for both things, and I have disagreements with friends of mine who are my smart friends. Like, how can you like this? It's so stupid. Yeah. It's like, or try just having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try that, and then I also, like, if I'm talking with some of my friends who aren't the greatest thinkers in the world, but we have similar interests, they'll be like, I don't get this. This is just like super like pretentious and artsy and gay. It was like,
okay,
well, try thinking.
Yeah, read a book.
Yeah,
or read anything.
Like read a podcast, bro. Like
yeah. It is interesting.
That's a Michael McChesney joke. I would feel bad if I didn't credit him.
Okay.
He's one of my friends.
Okay, respect. We have to get him on the pod sometime. No, it's interesting. It is so true though. It's like, I have a big problem with people that pretend that they're like above slapstick.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like sometimes like some good physical stupid shit, somebody getting hit in the nuts is funny. Like just every once in a while, that is fucking funny. Yeah, if it was, I couldn't sit there personally and watch something that was just that for 45 minutes. Probably not for me. But if that's in something that is also like funny in other smart ways and interesting ways, or just has like a regular like good plot, if it was like a regular movie and then that happened where somebody did something stupid like that, I'm laughing. I'm sorry. Like I'm not taking my life that seriously that I can't laugh at something stupid. Like I just am not going to do that.
I also think they're making outrage part of the promotion of the movie. There's so much. I see so much stuff on socials about how Gen Z is outraged and triggered by the Scary Movie trailer, and I'm like, are they though? I don't hear this. I'm just by nature of doing comedy, I'm around Gen Z a lot more than like a 37-year-old typically would. It's not a thing. Like you can always find someone who's saying something somewhere, but I don't think they give a shit. But I think that for millennials, especially older millennials, the concept of triggering Gen Zs has become borderline a kink for them. Mm-hmm. And like they'll go to these, we're dunking on these pussy Gen Zs by watching this movie.
Yeah, are they?
Are they like they don't care, dude?
Yeah, we don't give a shit. Are they passing that down on us? Because it's like I remember. So what is it? it's Gen Z, then it's millennials, and then who's above them? Is that Gen X? Because Gen X and then boomers, right?
Yeah.
Gen X and boomers were always shitting on millennial. Like I remember going in through high school, like they would mistakenly call us millennials sometimes, and we were like, I'm Gen Z, and they would mistakenly like call us like older Gen Z people millennials, and be like, make up your mind, millennial. Here's your participation trophy, millennial. Like all this shit. Like they love dunking on it.
Anyone who they view as young is a millennial.
Yeah.
A newborn baby is
a
millennial. It's like you guys don't get it. Like like most of us are close to knocking on 40's door.
Yeah.
Like,
but do you think it's now the millennials passing on some of that hate to us Gen Z folk? They're going, hey, we got to find something.
The thing that every generation thinks the new ones are pussies and oversensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. I'm actually.
And a thing I've discovered, again, by nature of doing comedy, being around Gen Z, a lot of comedians are Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up on something that I didn't realize just casually, and I've told this to my other millennial friends because this pisses them off too because they don't get it. The thing the younger generation always likes doing is offending the older one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Gen Z has picked up on the fact that older people, even millennials, are offended by the concept of Gen Z being offended by stuff. And they play up how offended they are just to piss me off. They'll just casually call stuff homophobic and racist with this little smirk on their face, waiting for me to have my waiting for me to have my older guy outrage about you kids just call everything racist now. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to pick up. Oh my, they're doing this to troll us.
Yeah.
It's actually a solid move.
It's one of my favorites to just call anything racist. Even if somebody just says no to somebody, like literally like somebody's like, "Oh no, we're close." I'm like, that's borderline racist, man. Like there's no black people in the car, and I'm saying
there was like when the Barbie movie came out and I eventually watched Barbie and enjoyed it a lot. But like the week it came out, someone was like, "Hey, have you watched the Barbie movie film yet?" I was like, "No, I haven't seen it." I was like, "Wow, imagine being a misogynist." It's like, okay, that's what we're doing. Okay.
It is fun, man. It is fun to get you guys with that shit, dude.
I see it.
What else have you noticed being around so much Gen Z? Anything else that you've picked up on being around? What is Gen Z like in the comedy scene, or from what you're exposed to at least, as a millennial?
Yeah, for the most part. I think what I'm observing is that I'm reaching an age where in my opinion, I am neither old nor young. I'm just like a whole ass adult at this point. Can't really claim either teams until I don't know. I can say I'm old when I'm like late 40s, 50s, whatever you consider. But I think I'm noticing that every new generation takes what the last one did to the next level. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why you get a lot of millennials saying shit like, "I'm a liberal, man, but these guys are going too far left." But I think Gen X said that about millennials.
Mm-hmm.
I am sure that boomers think that they're pretty whatever the word is for woke. I think they probably think they're pretty woke compared to their parents, and they probably are.
Yeah.
And they think that their kids are going crazy with all this open-minded stuff. But like,
yeah,
I think if people were just less reactionary in general, they would like. The instinct is always to be like, this new thing is too far. Like when my generation changed the world, we were right, but these new kids. Too far.
Yeah.
It's always that way. I'm sure that Gen Z will have that same reckoning with Gen Alpha. I'm sure Gen Alpha will be of some mindset that Gen Z thinks is too far.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we already do it with the Gen Zs of like there's like the people that finished high school pre and post COVID.
Yeah.
And I'd say there's like almost like a semi-generational split there too, where it's like, I mean, I can tell. Like there people are like close to my age, and then like there's just like social shit, and I feel myself. I'm like, oh, I'm getting old. I'm becoming a hater because I'm like in a restaurant, trying to help these people, and they'll just stare at you, or they can't hold a conversation. They're afraid. You ask them to do a simple. I'm just like, hey, actually, don't bag that way. Let's do it this way. And then they're like afraid of me for 2 weeks. I gotta be like, hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm just trying to help you. Just trying to help you do your job the right way. And I'm like, shit, dude, I'm getting old. I'm getting old because you're fucking 5 years younger than me. I feel like we should be on the same page, and I'm not. You know,
That's very funny. I think what you're basically talking about is you think Gen Alpha is lacking some basic social cues and skills that other people develop in the wild.
Yeah.
Essentially what you're saying. But they're the first generation to grow up to not remember a time before AI. And
I do think that matters.
The thing about that is that millennials say this about Gen Zs. Because I think you guys are the first generation to not remember not having smartphones and social media and stuff.
Well, yeah, we got like, cause I remember iPhones like coming out and stuff. Like it was like a big deal. Like only super rich people had iPhones. Like I didn't get a phone until like high school. Like I had like a flip phone in like the end of grade school for like going to basketball tournaments and shit. But then like I didn't get an iPhone. It wasn't like a big thing until like the almost probably middle of the way through my freshman year of high school. And I remember that was like the day my life opened up. It's like, whoa, I'm alive now. But like, so we kind of came up as everything was progressing.
Sure.
Where we kind of got to grow with tech. Where like now tech is everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure you guys probably say the same thing about us.
I think that I was the last generation that when we were kids, going out and playing was what it was in terms of like riding around with your friends on their bikes, making up. Like, my friend and I made up, like, a wrestling federation.
Oh, yeah.
We turned, like, a picnic table upside down and, like, made it, like, a makeshift ring. And we all, like, characters, and we made little belts. And we did a lot of shit like that. We even did Scream-based, because the Scream movies came out when I was a kid. We even did this thing where, like, someone was the killer and we don't know who. There was like someone in charge of knowing who the killer was, like the admin of it, I guess.
Yeah, you guys were playing like, Among Us before Among Us was a thing.
Yeah. And like we did all this outside imaginative physical shit.
Yeah.
Not to say that Gen Zs don't do that, but I think we were the last generation where like
that was the only option.
You kind of had to let your imagination run wild because if you want to do something outside of the house, sure, you could play video games and watch TV, and we did a lot of that too. But you get bored of that. It's like, all right, what else? Well, let's just go outside and play.
Yeah.
And I am grateful that I got to have that before everything became so tech based. Because I'm just as guilty as having my phone on me all the time. I feel weird if it's not on me. Mm-hmm. I have become fully absorbed as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I had that experience. And I think millennials always say that because you guys didn't have those physical interactions, that you are weirder in public spaces.
Really?
Because one of my friends in comedy, Aaron Clark, he does his joke about how he dates Gen Z, and he always whenever there's a phone call to be made, he has to be the one to do it because talking to strangers is big yikes.
Yeah, it is, dude.
Yeah,
it is. Fuck that, dude. I will say it is. I think it gets worse with every generation. I think that you're probably onto something with your original kind of take on this, where it's like we probably progress in a lot of ways, especially probably when it comes to maybe like social. I think like. Maybe caring about different movements when it comes to like BLM stuff. I think people are more conscious about like where they're spending their money, with especially how evident capitalism is fucking most of us in this country. I do think in general, even though there's still people that like lick the boots and all these other things, I feels like in general there's like a progression there where people kind of get like, yeah, we're all getting fucked here, and then there's other elements too where we're probably just like regressing as
I
people,
think
we're getting a little
as the
softer.
human race continues evolving, we find ways to eliminate the need for face-to-face interactions with people who aren't our close friends and family, and in doing so we lose a lot of we deprive ourselves of a lot of necessary skills because we're still social creatures,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how good we get with AI or anything else.
Yeah, and I think too, like I also think it's like a really lonely place to be if it goes too far, right? Like I think it's
Yeah.
really isolating. I think it's great in that a lot of ways that the internet allows us to like connect with people we would never otherwise be able to, and like and keep certain relationships like maintained even
Yeah.
when distance is a huge factor. But it's like if you're just living in your bubble, especially with how good algorithms continue to get, it's like you do lose like sense of reality because your reality is just whatever is in this little 5-inch screen of yours, and it's going to be curated just for you. For Syed, it's going to be everything that you love, and all they know, all the things that will get you mad, and all the engagement we
Yep.
talked about earlier. I feel like you lose like a little bit of empathy. I think you're talking like people are going to still talk and have relationships and social carings for people that are in their immediate circle, but then outside of that, it's like they can't fathom other people having
We'll talk to
feelings
people
or
who are flabbergasted when you don't, when your worldview alters from what they say. It's like they are straight up like, aren't you seeing all this stuff? Like, I'm kind of not.
it's actually I'm seeing completely the opposite. I'm
Yep.
probably seeing a completely different tube of shit that they're
The
feeding me.
algorithms have fucked people up in so many ways. For me, as a guy who has certain interests that are conventionally masculine. I'm not gonna say I'm the most macho dude, but a lot of my hobbies and interests are traditionally masculine things.
Sure.
And because I like that, way too much of my news feed is conservative as fuck, because all that stuff has become so absorbed by
Been co-opted.
manosphere red pill shit that is like, oh, if you like going to the gym, you might like hearing this story about how trans people are going to the bathrooms, and I don't want that. But like,
Yeah.
also, if you click on one thing, it just assumes that you want more. I have this thing where I sometimes deliberately seek out content that is politically opposite of me. One, just to know what they're thinking, and two, because like sometimes it's funny.
Yeah, it just
And
is.
like, you click on one Nick Fuentes video, and that's what, and now Facebook thinks that's who I am. Especially if I also like going to the gym and pro wrestling and classic '80s action movies. Like, well,
Yeah.
probably one of those.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. It is interesting. Like riding that line. I feel like there is maybe more recently. I've seen more people that are into those same things start to like express how they're not into the other stuff that comes with it, that gets co-opted with it a lot of times, or lumped in with it, because it's like, dude, you can be jacked or care about getting jacked and like also want equal rights for people. Like also want
Here's the thing. I've been like ruminating about this for a while. Is that this like resurgence of like reclaim your masculinity? Don't let society tell you that being a man is bad. It's all about one specific like view of what being a manly man is. It's all about dominance, owning people, conquering,
yeah.
but like nothing about what is also a very traditional and like I would say conservative, not conservative in the political sense, but just like literally socially. One of the most like classical definitions of a man is a protector.
Yeah.
It's like where the fuck did that go? What happened to the masculine urge to be like a Superman type figure? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what happened with that? Like, you're working out and you're building these muscles just to like own the most vulnerable people in the population.
Thank
Like,
you.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe you should be building yourself up to when you see someone who can't stand up for themselves, you're there to spot them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or it's like, I mean, you look at a beacon of masculinity, like people they post like videos of Chris Evans' physique as Captain America. What is Captain America's weapon of choice? It's a shield. Like, he's not like an offensively, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's to protect the people that he cares about. Like, he fights for good. I mean, you can say about whatever with like American propaganda and stuff, Captain America, whatever. But a lot of the stuff in the comics and in the movies, I think, like, kind of actually, I think they have an interesting take on that. But he's a protector. He cares for his friends. There's also, like, you don't have to be, as a man, you don't need to be like a overly dominant and aggressive, like, testosterone jacked up dude.
It's
like,
there
you can
when
also,
you need it.
yeah, you can also use those things to be kind and to save people that need saving, and to know, like, when maybe those things aren't needed. Like, I feel like it's way more badass. Like, I love, like, Kratos in like recent God of War games. I don't know if you're into those at all, but, like, he's like, I think his arc is like a perfect example of, like, what masculinity can be. Like, cause he's this, like, evil, like, cold, like, distant anti-hero for the first, like, trilogy of the Greek games. He like destroys this whole thing. Then you fast forward, he's like this very stoic, still closed off, kind of a dick to his son dude in this first game. And over the course of, like, this duology that they did, like, he becomes what you can be as a man, like what you should aspire to be. He becomes closer to that.
You constantly have to showcase how much of a badass you are, it gives weakness, insecurity.
It is insecure.
I feel like a manly man knows that he has it, but he doesn't need. If you think I'm a pussy, okay, that's fine. If I'm in a situation where I feel like I either have to defend myself or defend someone else, I feel like I can. That's all. And, like, I've made a few sarcastic comments about politics and trans people. So I'll like laser focus on that, like, to make this point, because, like, the guys that we're talking about, they say no, we're protecting women from these perverts who want to go in the bathroom and all this stuff. And, like, the amount of that versus the amount of trans people who are 1% of the human population, most of them just want to exist while feeling safe. If you're a manly man, you're going to look at this and the fact that they have an incredibly disproportionate suicide rate, so that I would assume have something to do with the way they are treated, the way they are spoken about in politics and in everyday life. It's like transphobia is, like, new enough in our lexicon that, like, you can still kind of casually do it. So if you're, like, a macho dude and you see this happening to these incredibly vulnerable people, it's like, no, I have to have their back, because that's what a man would do here.
Yeah.
And it's weird that, like, the red pill bros are not of that mindset while they're still presenting themselves as, like, the resurgence of masculinity,
like, traditional masculinity. Yeah, it is weird, because, like you said, that those are the people that do need to be protected, that maybe do need some help in times of need, right? And it's like, it's the same thing where it's like, these people really pick and choose when they want to be protecting women. Like, they'll worry about that 0.00 whatever percent that would happen, where a trans identifying person would go into a restroom and assault somebody. They'll focus in on the amount of times that's happened, right? But not the amount of times that their own friends have sexually assaulted women in their lives.
A lot of those,
and they will never focus on that. They'll never even talk about those.
Women will say, well, I actually feel a lot more uncomfortable around dudes at bars, around just like cis dudes who are too, like, aggressive and not taking no for an answer. And
it's like, that's what I mean. It's like the focus is like,
you're like creating a victim, and then you're creating their narrative for them, and then most of them say something else. No, you just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. Literally.
I'm protecting you.
I think, yeah, exactly. And it's almost like I think they're almost telling on themselves a little bit. I almost think that they're projecting, because they're going, like, if I had access to the women's restroom, then that's what I would do.
Well, I think that what you can even I think this even plays into the way that a lot of dudes feel, or the unease a lot of dudes have around gay men. Because they can only be like, okay, as a guy, this is what me and my friends are like to women at the bars. So if they're gay, but they're also men, that they're going to treat me that way, and I don't want that.
I think that I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think that plays a role into some of the homophobia and then therefore the transphobia. Is that like it's like them
Like
projecting.
if I don't want someone doing to me what I know, what either my friends or I treat women in public spaces, and
Yeah,
that's what a lot of the like fear. Oh, if I go into this bar, this gay guy's gonna put his hand on my thigh and
yeah.
not take no for an answer and get really close to me when I don't
And
want
it's
him there.
always like the
Yeah.
dudes that like have the worst haircut
It's
and like
always
dress
it's
the
always
worst.
I always feel like it's assuming a lot because like I don't know if I'll get pushback for saying this, but in my experiences, the gay men I know, one of the most shallow dudes I've ever met, is I don't think you could pull a gay guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think most of my friends friends is maybe a stretch in some cases, but I bet most of the people that have said things like that in my life that I've heard say that,
Yeah,
or they're like, oh, I'm cool if he's gay, but just don't be weird, or I'm cool, but just don't make your person like those. You are the least likely to get picked
it is
by
always
either
the least
gender.
likely.
Like by either gender, nobody was worried about you, my dog. Like,
I don't know if this is just me, but like for the most part, when I get the vibe that a gay guy is flirting with me, it kind of boosts my spirits.
yeah, it's great to know I have cross appeal. I'm
Because
hyped.
it's also because like men are more forthcoming with that stuff. I think
Oh
if
yeah,
a woman likes you, she's not gonna be like, hey, you're so hot.
yeah.
That's not generally how it works.
That is true. Most, and that's the thing too. Like most, like at least in my experience, gay men will be very forward about it.
One of my funniest one of the funniest clips I've ever seen. I don't even know where this conversation came from or what like inspired it.
Oh god.
But like Theo Vaughn has so many just like random outbursts of like spasms
Yeah.
of thought.
Yeah.
And there's this reel of him on Rogan where he just like out of nowhere blurs if a gay guy is flirting with you, have you ever like fed into it a bit just to like boost your spirits? And the Rogan's like, what? No, I just mean that like if he wants to buy you drink and you kind of flirt with him a bit just because you want to have like a good day, you know.
Yeah.
I just want to have a good day.
Yeah. I, mean, I love that, dude. Who hasn't? Who hasn't? If you have, I bet most of the people that are saying those things haven't.
Yeah.
They just haven't had that experience. They've never been hit on by a gay dude because you don't have that in you. You don't have that cross appeal.
I
You
did
know
have
what I
one,
mean?
and again, I'm not saying this to throw an entire population under a bus, but like within every community, there are douchebags, every single one.
Oh yeah.
So in college, I think my friend group was at a gay bar for somebody's birthday or something. I always have to throw in, well, it was for someone's birthday, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was this guy who kept buying me drinks, and I guess I was too drunk to recognize that he was trying to pick me up. So and especially when I drink, I'm pretty friendly and chatty. So I was like, hey, yeah, cool, buy me more drinks.
Yeah.
And then that kept going for a while, and then he escalated to the point like, oh, that's what you want. And then I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. I should have picked up the signs. That's my bad, but I'm actually not into that. And
Yeah.
then this guy had this attitude like I had stolen something from him, like I should feel bad that I like wasted his time when I like never asked him to buy me these drinks.
Yeah.
He came to me, did it all on his own, and he had some attitude like there's a form of payment that I now owe him that I'm not gonna give him. And then I was like, that's so messed up that just because he chose to walk over to me and buy me all these drinks, now he thinks that I have to go, oh, that's what.
Yeah,
That's what girls that I know are talking about. Oh, that's
Yep.
what that feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real thing,
That was
man.
a
It's
clarity moment for me.
it is fucking hilarious though. It is just funny too, like kind of circling back to the people that choose to care about those things. It's like, man, these are people that if you're trying to be a real man, quote unquote real man, like these are things you should stand for, in my opinion. I think you should stand for people being able to live their lives and they're not hurting anybody. And you should, if there are people causing, pain and suffering in this world, I think maybe be a little bit more honest about where that's actually coming from and point some of that some of that aggression or that testosterone in the other direction, man. Like we're getting
So it's also about like growth and reflection. I think a lot of their issues is that they just like are locked into how they always saw the world, and they're not gonna like take a step back and say what's actually happening here. Because as much as I say all this stuff that sounds like aggressive of me, like I was a douchebag. I was not. There were times in my life where I thought I was a cool guy, but when I look back now, no, I was kind of a douche about these various things that I didn't fully understand, and like it's not something to be ashamed of, but like it's good to like know that you are consistently trying to be better, and probably still have a lot of growth to do even now.
Yeah, I think that's like when I look at some of like my favorite fictional depictions of like masculinity or male role models or whatever. Like I think of people like a Goku. Like this is somebody who fights for the love of fighting. Like he fights to get better every day, not because the whole message. And I love Vegeta as I've grown up. I really love Vegeta. I've got clips of me that have gone viral of me talking about how much I love Vegeta. But like this story of like Goku and Vegeta is so important, at least through the lens of Dragon Ball Z. What they do after that, whatever, is like Vegeta fights because he's trying to be this dominant man. He wants to prove that he's better than Kakarot, better than Goku. Mm-hmm. And Goku fights because he loves fighting and to protect people. And same with Gohan. Gohan hates fighting, but only wants to fight to protect people. And in both cases, they surpass Vegeta. And it's not until Vegeta is fighting to protect the people he loves that he gets family. His moment.
Yeah.
Where we go, wow, there he is.
I think one of the things I love most about Dragon Ball is in their universe, power is something that you have to constantly achieve via growth.
Yes.
As the Saiyan race specifically, it's not oh, I have these powers and now what am I gonna do with them? Goku has a lot of Superman parallels, but the fact that he has to keep fighting to become more powerful is one of the most like beautiful metaphors about that show. And Vegeta, I think people who watch Dragon Ball, they tend to like Vegeta more than Goku because he is the more relatable one. He's the more he has these various issues that people relate to. It's like he's very good, but this one guy he can't quite, and you're rooting for him to surpass Goku, but like he does become more powerful when that's not what is driving him.
Yeah, it's just like that's the issue. He'll never. It's kind of to tie it into the MJ stuff from earlier, right? MJ set the bar, so like you can only like, but MJ was just doing MJ. So if MJ would have done the Super Bowl every fucking year, it would have kept getting better because MJ's just trying to do MJ, right? Goku just trains because he loves training. He loves fighting. He just wants to fight better guys. Yeah. Vegeta trained and fought because he wanted to be better than Goku. So long as Goku continues to train, he will always be stronger than Vegeta because Vegeta's not training just to train. He's training to surpass that guy. So it's like he'll only ever pass him for a second, and then Goku will just pass him again, and he'll never supersede. And I love the metaphor for that with Goku, where it's like he's really he loves the process. And I think like in life, like if you just dedicate your life to things that you love and enjoy doing and getting a little bit better at all the time, I think you're going to lead a really terrific life by the end of that.
It's also nuanced. I think Vegeta is a more skilled fighter than Goku. He just, the power level ups don't come to him at the same rate that they come to Goku.
I also
think if you put that, if they were at the exact same power level, if they just decided, hey, let's fight on Super Saiyan 2, or like not even go Super Saiyan, I think Vegeta would beat his ass.
You think so?
I do.
I hope so. I'm a big Vegeta guy. I love Vegeta. I do relate to him more, especially in his like quest to constantly prove. I relate to that, like your ego being shattered because you think you're so good and you put in all this work, and then there's just
the most
somebody
popular
there.
Character on shows is very often the one who doesn't get what they want, who has to fight for it, who gets beaten down by life over and over again, but then somehow still manages to
keep going,
rise up.
Yeah, like he's fun, man. I also think they could throw him a bone every once in a while, and I hope in the newest arc, I've heard, and there's some rumblings in like the newest arc that maybe this is going to be his moment to do something, but I'm like, it's gotta be, man. Otherwise, just end the fucking. I don't need to keep seeing everybody get smoked, and then Vegeta almost not get smoked, but then get smoked so that Goku can save him with a new form again. Like I think
give me
something
that
new.
Since we're talking about Vegeta, I think one of the most backhanded insult to Short Kings is that when he was a villain, Prince Vegeta, the planet killer, he's a very short guy. Like he looked like he was like 5 feet tall.
Oh yeah.
And then when his character becomes an anti-hero and hero, now he's almost the same height as Goku.
Yeah, he slowly just grew.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
Like, are you saying that like his height was indicative of him being a bad person? I think that's kind of how I took it.
Yeah. All the Short Kings, we were all excited. We're like, this is our guy. This is our guy.
He's your guy until he starts leveling up, and then he's not yours anymore.
Yeah. Once he think about it, he doesn't get stronger. He doesn't achieve Super Saiyan or bag Bulma or fucking anything cool. He gets his dope fits later in the series too with that like all blue shit once he gets taller. What is that saying? That no pun intended there, I guess. I was gonna say, but no, that's great on that
stuff. I'm not sure what
it's
saying, but it's not super in my opinion.
There you go. I want to get to one last thing before we wrap today, man. We've bounced around a lot. That's why I always love having you on. We get into a bunch of different things. Are you familiar with the artist La Russell? He's a music artist, a rapper.
I might if you showed me his stuff.
We'll show you his stuff in a minute here. So there's this artist, La Russell. He's all about independence. He was like a guy who like came up on his own stuff. He was not attached to any major labels. He like did a lot of really interesting things for like the independent music scene when it came to like offer-based tickets. So it was like, pay what you can, as many venues still do to this day. Like he does that for like all his shows. He has a venue in his backyard that people can pay whatever they wish, and he can accept or deny them entry or whatever. He allows people, his fans, ownership in his catalog. So like if you go, this is my favorite song, you can offer to buy shares of that song, and then you get to perpetually like make money off that too. And it's a whole thing. So he's done a lot of interesting things. He recently signed a record deal with Jay-Z, and people were kind of upset about it because they were like, dude, like you were this beacon of fucking independence, and now you're signing with them, and when you're at your biggest, like why are you doing that? And so people were kind of pushing back on him. That was like a couple months ago, or maybe a month and a half ago. He sort of pushed through that. He puts out so much stuff every day that I think it kind of just drowned it out. But then he recently just came out with this clip of him during one of his backyard sets where he's talking about it. It's a new song of his, and I'll let you just hear it, and we'll get your reaction to it because it's really interesting. I wanted to preface it with all the good stuff because I do in general like him, but it is insane how quickly after signing to Jay-Z, he's trying to like speed run his own demise. It seems like. If you want to click there, and then we'll switch the audio to the computer, the X file one there. Yep. This one? Yep. Yeah, that one there, and then we'll be able to hear it. So. Dales is going to play this for you, and I'll have you, if you can, slide to the right a little bit after you play it so that he can see on his side of there. So
I made this record, and I sent it off to my engineer.
Can you turn it down?
And he calls me.
Pause it.
He say, man, you...
Turn it down just a little for them. It's going to be super loud, if it's possible. I don't know if it'll let you. Yeah, you can just turn it down on the desktop audio there. Go, oh, you did it. You're good. Yeah. We'll try it. If it's super loud for you guys, I apologize. You'll hear it. You'll hear our reaction right after.
You probably shouldn't put this out. I said, why? What the hell happened? He said, you talking about Epstein, there's a lot of shit going on. And I said, thank you for calling me. I'm finna drop this. That's exactly why we need it. Because everybody sit and be silent. And the goal of an artist is to express the times.
This is beautiful right here.
And discuss, say all the things that nobody else want to say or know how to say. I'm not perfect. And neither is the president. Was guiltier than a nigga hiding evidence. You can't be mad that they heated if you don't let them vent. Even the devil was heaven sent. Even Malcolm was heaven sent. Even Martin was heaven sent. Even Kanye was heaven sent. We all heaven sent.
It's better.
Donald too. We all heaven sent. Epstein too. We all heaven sent. Adolf too. We all heaven sent. Even you.
Yo.
We all heaven
Yo,
sent.
you're all-
I made this
you're heaven
record
sent,
and I
bro.
sent it off to my engineer.
You could pause that. You can get rid of that. It's just-
So what I liked is that he named some of the most.
you can close that too. You can go back to
What I like
1 and 2.
is that he listed a bunch of people that are like recognized as pretty bad guys. Epstein, Hitler. They pointed at some random guy, and he's like even you. So that guy is like lower than Hitler and Epstein. It's like even this fucking loser, who's like,
Even this fucking loser who's front row at my show.
who's less because he did it. Yeah, because it was the last one. And after closing on Hitler and Epstein, it's like even you. Like
We started.
I mean, I hope I'm heaven sent if Epstein and Hitler are like.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. It's like one of my. I'm like genuinely a fan of this guy, and I
Yeah.
saw this and I was like, what the fuck? Like I saw people making fun of him. Like, what did he do? He's like such a. Like he doesn't ever talk about anything like politically
It
ever.
seems very like Crash Out era. Alex Jones, Kanye West, when he's doing
Yeah.
the like, you know, we're all children of God. You have to love everyone. That means I love Hitler too.
Yeah, that's what
It's like that. Yeah.
I was just like, whoa, man. And we started with fucking with Malcolm, and then we somehow got from there to Kanye to fucking Epstein and Hitler, and then that guy in the crowd in the front row. It's like, whoa, man. I would be so pissed if I got pointed at during that set. But yeah, I just think, is there anybody else you think is heaven sent that deserved a shout out that we should have been bringing attention
I
to?
thought
during
he
the
was about
set?
to say Charlie Kirk, and I was ready to laugh.
That would have been so.
He is heaven sent and residing.
Yeah, he was returned.
Yeah.
Actually returned goods there. That's amazing, man. Is there anything we didn't get to today that we need to touch on before?
I don't think so,
we
man. I
wrap?
think we talked about a lot.
We did, man. We
time.
usually do. I appreciate having you back. I know we'll definitely have you back again sometime soon. All your stuff is linked down below, so if you're interested in checking out some shows that he's got coming up, definitely peek his Instagram link down below. You're usually posting dates and whatnot there. I know you've got some big stuff coming up this week too, right? You got a show this week?
Yeah, I'm doing a show in Lincoln Lodge on Thursday,
Excellent.
and then I will be in Geneva Friday night.
Just so come on, our Lake Geneva Twin Lakeian listeners, go check him out. He's going to be in the area. You go see him. Where's that at? That's
House of Music.
House of Music. Check it out. That's going to be fun. That's Saturday, you said?
That's Friday.
Friday night. Check that out. You'll be posting stuff about it,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure, so they can follow you there and check that out. I always thank you for coming and making the time to do the show. I want to say thank you to anybody who tuned in today, as well as people that are listening or viewing days after over on Spotify or here on YouTube. I want to say a quick shout out to our patrons. They should be up on the screen right now. If you guys are interested in getting behind the scenes access to extra videos, extra podcasts, as well as a series where I break down how I mix, master, write, record every single one of my songs, go to Darren Rita, patreon.com/Darren Rita. Also want to say a quick shout out to Alpine House 2 for sponsoring another episode, as well as Impulse Cameras. Both of their stuff is linked down below. You can check them out there. With all that good stuff being said, this has been the 350th episode